Oh man, damn, where we at? Good evening, people. I should say, as normal, welcome to a special Amsterdam talk. There will be no intro today, so you won't see me dancing today. There's no dancing going on today, but actually, I have special guests in the building. This title of this show is called Black Love. HBCU representatives in the building today. I have in the building the the monks.
Myrick's.
The Mavericks. Oh, do you the group I'm looking for? The Mavericks. You the actually group I was looking for. You went to Shaw, right?
Yeah.
Shaw University is in the building today. How are y'all doing today?
We're good.
We're great.
Okay,
we're not
so
Okay.
you're not good. What's wrong?
We're great.
That's you great. You great.
Yeah.
You great. You great. You great.
Yeah.
Okay, I'm trying to get myself situated over here before we start. There we go. All right. So let's get it. Let's dive straight into this. Because we are in a group, that's brought to us by Ava, that is the producer of the show, and her group is the HBC Singles Lounge. And then we also have an HBCU Couples Lounge. So what we're trying to do is to have you guys come on today, and we want y'all to explain your story, how everything transpired from where y'all from?
I'm from Brooklyn. She's from Queens.
I'm representing Queens. He was raised out in Brooklyn.
See, and you know what? I'm going to start this off with this joke. I normally start off with something I've done, but I'm going to start off with this joke. You got a New York woman. If you can make a New York woman be submissive, you can train lions, brother. That is right. You are a certified lion tamer, as what I call it.
You tripping.
So y'all from Queens, you from Brooklyn. Y'all didn't know each other before you got to Shaw, did you?
No.
But where funny enough, we lived like 10 minutes away from each other at the crib, but we didn't meet until we got to Shaw.
Okay, so y'all got to Shaw. So let's start from the beginning. So
we didn't date in school either.
Y'all didn't date in school neither. So okay, so y'all didn't date. So y'all knew each other in school.
Yeah, she hung out with the choir, and I hung out with the other people.
So it sounds like y'all went two different worlds.
Definitely two.
But not really, because I'm a Delta and he's a Q. So he was on my plot.
No. Correct. She was on my plot. She just happened to get there 6 months before I got there. That's all.
Okay. All right. So she was on your plot. Okay. Yeah. So y'all didn't date in school, but y'all knew of each other, right?
Right. Actually, we were in school. We didn't date. I had a friend of mine who wrote a book. He was working for, I think, Atlantic Records at the time. He wrote a book with Brandy, and I was teaching in New York actually, and she was on the air in Pittsburgh, and so I reached out to her to try to get him a interview to help him promote his book. So once I reached out to her, she been sweating me ever since. She found out I was single at the time, and then it's been Sweat City. So it's been Keep Sweat ever since then.
You go ahead and believe that if you want to, Rod, but go ahead. I'm gonna let you finish. This is your show, so whatever.
But listen, I always tell people, it's my house, but you're always welcome. So I'm trying to hear y'all story and let the people in the back, the people that's watching know that, that true love does exist, So
it does. But it's, it's his story and then my story, and then there's the truth. So I'll just tell the truth. I will agree that, he did reach out to me in an effort to try to hook his boy up with a radio interview. And I kind of thought that was sexy within itself, because I'm like, wow, he's selfless. He's, he looks out for other people. And I had to holler at him because, I was single at the time or whatever. And I was like, after I interview your friend, if you want to just come up and do a little dinner,
Like I said,
what's that?
It was Keep Sweat after that.
I mean, you know, that part is believable because she's a Brooklyn Knight, and so she's aggressive.
I'm from Queens. She's from
Brooklyn. Okay. You from Brooklyn? She's from Queens. Well, she's from Queens, so I know the aggressive nature in New York women. You know, at Maryland Eastern Shore, the aggressiveness flow from the women from the Five Barrels was just out of this world. I just didn't believe women were this damn aggressive until I met New York women. So I can believe she told you, yeah, come on up and have some dinner. So I feel like this is getting ready to be like that episode of Martin when everybody had a story of how they really got together. So so what we're gonna do first, we're gonna let you go first, Mrs. Myrick first, and explain your story and how it went down. So he called to the show, and then what was next? Y'all want a date? Where did y'all actually go?
I invited him up, you know. And we talked because there was a few years of disconnect since we had graduated. It had been a couple of years, so I was kind of curious about what he was up to and whatever. And come to find out, he had a set of twins from a previous relationship, and he was a single dad. So again, I'm just, you know, I'm taking notes like, okay, he's caring, single dad, takes care of his kids, he look all right. You know, I was like, okay, come on up to the crib, we can do dinner or whatever. And so he really was sweet in all honesty. But the only reason why I was able to know that he was truly sweet is because he kept coming up every weekend. You know, he wants to talk about me sweating him, but he was sweating me every weekend. As a matter of fact, I remember a couple of weekends that you ain't even go to work. You was calling in sick to hang with me. It's so true. He can't. I mean, he can't deny it.
So you were making a trip from Brooklyn through the mountains to Pittsburgh.
Brooklyn to Pittsburgh.
On the bus.
So
on a Greyhound.
So I'm entitled to an extra day off work. If I gotta travel from 10 hours from Brooklyn, like 10 at night to 8 in the morning, I'm entitled to a day off on Monday.
So anyway, Ron, fast forward, just to give you the gist of how I grew to love this man. Before I actually fell in love with him, I had to break up with him first. What happened was I ended up getting a great job in New York City on the radio at the legendary 98.7 KISS FM, right?
Okay.
And I was going to relocate back to the city, and I asked him to come help me move, and he made some sort of excuse. So I'm like, yo, you've been up here every other weekend, but you can't help me move. I don't know what the excuse was. So when I got to the city, I think there was a Mary J. Blige concert or something like that. And I knew he loved Mary J. Blige. I was like, I'll fix his ass. I didn't even bring him with me. You know what I'm saying? And he got mad.
That's trifling, right?
But it's all good.
Was that his chance to meet MJB?
Yeah.
Yep.
And I denied.
That's trifling.
Well, it is what it is. I mean,
that's trifling. That's why I went to the concert 3 times last year before COVID hit.
Anyway,
I saw Mary in New Orleans. I saw Mary in Raleigh. I saw Mary in Brooklyn. So it's all right.
What that got to do with anything?
Did you really like get face to face with it? Because I think Keisha had you face to face.
Nah, she didn't. She been hating. She been hating ever since. She been hating. She really hating on the low, to be honest with you. That's what it really is. But see, now I gotta back it up on her because she was working in Pittsburgh, and I was teaching in New York at the time. And so Pittsburgh is like, what market is Pittsburgh? Radio
20, maybe.
Probably 30. So she and she like, and I'm saying, so, you know, since you sweating me so hard, you want me to come to Pittsburgh every weekend. Why don't you just come do radio in New York? Right. And she, New York is the #1 market. It's hard. And I'm like, but since you sweating me so hard, you need to come get in the radio in New York. So she started calling around, calling people, this and that. Long story short, about 3 months later, she took a job in New York.
Okay.
That was me putting the battery in her back. That was me.
I got you. You supported her through the situation. Now I gotta ask you this. What if she'd have asked you come teach in Pittsburgh? Would you have did it?
No. Because see, the difference is New York money compared to Pittsburgh money. See, she was like, let's say
be careful.
She might have went from making maybe 40 in Pittsburgh to making 100 in New York. Right. You know what I'm saying? As I would have went from making 40 in New York to about 30 in Pittsburgh. You know what I'm saying?
But yeah, I got you.
It was a better move for her to come to New York as opposed to me going to Pittsburgh.
But fast forward, because I don't want this to get too boring for y'all. He says that now, I've never transferred because it wasn't enough money. But what happened was he ended up, and I mean this wholeheartedly, he ended up loving me so hard, he ended up walking away from teaching altogether. Right.
Oh, man. After
New York, I went to Los Angeles. I looked behind me. Who coming? Him. Then I moved to Chicago. Who that? Him. He literally left teaching because he loved me that much.
But you know what? That's the thing. And we try to tell some of our viewers tonight is that I feel you because you loved her enough, whereas though you wanted to see her succeed, you said, I'm going to follow you around for your dream.
But see, that's like, in all honesty, we joking around, but in all honesty, when you come to a relationship like that, and if y'all kind of have similar goals, because see, she was on the radio, and my goal was to write. You know what I'm saying? So with her, it was kind of like a great opportunity because when she got the job in LA, it was like maybe June, July, and in New York, we off for the summers. So I was able to go out there with her, to basically get her tucked in at the station out there. And I got to spend 2 months out there and get a taste of the Los Angeles life, you know what I'm saying? To see what I wanted to do. And then there were just opportunities with her for herself feeling like she's a woman and she's out there on her own. There were some things that, opportunities that she just didn't want to take because, like club appearances and all types of things like that she didn't want to do because she felt like she would have been out there by herself.
Right.
So those were things that we actually talked about and said, well, listen, if I come out there with you, one, see if you could if they'll allow you to hire me as the producer of your show. And two, then we can make some moves and do some of these other appearances and things that, you're not comfortable going out on the streets of California on your own.
Right. So in reality, he will, and I do joke a lot, as you could probably tell, but I really attribute him to the reason why I succeeded so much, because he is he was just a huge supporter of my career. He's very selfless, and he was my biggest cheerleader. And I really suffered from imposter syndrome badly. Like I always felt like, even though I got all this talent and I'm making all of these major moves in my career, I tended to feel like I didn't belong. But he was always the one like, yo, you definitely have what it takes. You can do it. And if you feel like you can't, I got your back. And that's
how it's supposed to be.
Yeah.
Yeah, that is how
it's supposed to be. Yeah. So
that is definitely supposed to be.
People.
But I'm saying, so he put that battery in your back for you to make all these moves and make sure you weren't out there alone. And I definitely see the love and appreciation, how you to this man, you said, yo, I'm going to get you some money in the process with me. We're going to work this out together.
Right.
Team. We was a
right.
team.
And see, one of the other things that, just taking it back from when we first started conversing on the telephone, again, I'm in New York and she's in Pittsburgh. And it just so happened, like sometimes we would pop on the phone and we both watching MTV Cribs. You know what I'm saying? So I'm like, listen, I'm going to get that crib before you get that crib. So it was a joking thing. And then it boils down to, well, if we just come together, we could probably get that crib that we was both talking about. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? So you could be different. You could be totally different, but if you kind of on the same wavelength, then you can make anything work.
Like-minded individuals, you know, that's a good thing in and out of marriages, just to kind of align yourself with people who have the same ideals and principles and the same level of I don't know, gumph, you know, it's just incredibly motivating to be able to be in a relationship with somebody that shares the same visions as you. So
Yeah, that is great. So what I want to ask y'all, well, so we're going to skip back a little bit. You know, you were making the trips every week. How tough was that for you, knowing that your future wife, your current wife, future wife at the time, was in Pittsburgh and you were in New York and you were taking these 10 hours and taking days off? Like, how did it work during the middle of the week?
It was very tough because, again, I'm teaching. I'm a New York City school teacher, and like you got a bunch of, and New York is different because we have Jewish holidays, you got winter break, you got spring break, you got summer break, so they kind of frown upon like you taking a Friday or a Monday off. They call it extended weekends. You know what I'm saying? They don't like the weekend, so here I am taking literally every Friday or every Monday off, extending the weekend just so I can recuperate from a 10-hour bus trip. You know what I'm saying? But
it was worth it though, wasn't
it? It's a G-rated show, right?
No, I mean, you can say whatever you want to say on here. This is fine. This is us. You say whatever you want to say.
But it was cool. But we had to figure out, you know, how do we get to the same city? And the crazy thing was, at the time, I didn't even like to fly. Like her mom was actually working for the airlines, and she was like, "Well, I'll fly you here in an hour." I was like, "Yeah, but I kind of like to stay on the ground."
So what does that say? What does that say about the impeccable, the undeniable Keisha Monk, that he would ride the Greyhound every weekend to see this? You know what I'm saying? He wouldn't even fly. He was like, "That's all right, baby. I'll take that 10-hour trip to see you every weekend."
That is hell of consistency and determination. You know, it doesn't, and just being with y'all for the last 20 minutes, bruh, that thing looked like it was all worth it. You know, you won. You at the end game, you won.
Yeah, we both won. We both won.
We did. We
both, because we were able to do what we wanted to do, and literally on our terms. You know what I'm saying? Because again, New York, the teaching was tough, because I was teaching special education. You know what I'm saying? And I was on a grade level, where it's like a benchmark in New York where, you know, they was giving them all these tests and things like that, and they kept saying, "Oh, if these kids don't pass this test, they're gonna get held back." You know, so it was tough. But then at the end of the year, they'd be like, "Promote everybody." So here I was having these kids and their parents and telling them, you know, your kid gonna get left back. We got to work hard. We got to work hard. We got to work hard. And then at the end of the year, they saying promote everybody.
But Raj, you know what?
It was rough.
Super important to say this to your listening audience. Like, gosh, I hope I don't lose my thought. You know, I didn't like him in school. And also, I mean, I'm being honest. Again, it was very important. I don't know if he was paying attention when we first introduced ourselves. He was saying, you know, well, she was in the choir and I was with the others. You know what the others mean, right? He was
the others was my people. They my people. They my people.
Truth be told, I really didn't like him because he just had like this hard exterior. He never smiled. Again, he always saying, "Well, what do you expect me to do? Just walk around campus smiling?" I don't know. He just seemed real hard. So I didn't really like him in school. But once I got to know him, I realized that he was really the perfect mate for me. So again, my advice to your audience is, don't be so, you know, against dating outside of your type per se. You know what I'm saying? And
totally
again, I hear a lot of my single girlfriends say it all of the time, like, "Oh, I would never date a man that has kids. Oh, I would never date a man that's, you know, shorter than 5'9". He got to make 6 figures." Like, that's just silly to me. You could be missing out on a lot having this, strict vision of what you think your ideal man will be. He wasn't mean at all. And most importantly, he was perfect for me.
And that is the thing that I actually spoke about, last week when I was telling them, like, you've been dating this certain type of man or woman, the same type, when are you going to try something different? Because obviously what you like or what you expect ain't it.
Right.
So you got to try something different. But hold on, because we're going to play a game in a few. I got to talk to the Franklins for a little bit.
Cool.
Hold on for a second. What's up, Franklins? How y'all doing?
Hey, what's going on?
Oh, man. What school y'all went to?
Southern University, Louisiana.
Oh, we got Southern in the building tonight. So y'all both from Louisiana?
Two SUs.
I'm from Baton Rouge, Louisiana, and he is from Chicago.
Okay,
So
Chicago.
I was on the track team.
You was on a what?
The track team.
Y'all was on a track team together.
Yeah, no, I was in the band. I was in the jukebox.
Okay, all right. So you was a jukebox. So how did everything occur? Like, who made the first move? But did y'all date in school, or was it after? Like the Mavericks were.
Well, we didn't date in school. We actually didn't even know each other at Southern. We actually, to tell you the truth, we got kidnapped in 2007. That's how this went down.
2008.
Oh, it was 2008? Okay, 2008. We was kidnapped in Houston, Texas. And we was on the southeast side of Houston. Mm-hmm. My frat brother and his wife, who knew Ariane, hooked us up. He picked me up and brought me to the north side of Houston, Spring, and left us at a dog sit.
So they set you up.
It is a truth. I wish they were on this
exactly how it went down.
Yes.
And,
so your frat brother knew what type of woman she was. Her friend knew exactly what type of woman she was. And they say, hey, listen, we're going to put them together.
Yes.
Exactly. And then they were insistent. They would not let me say no. And then we get there, it's like, oh man, you know what? She's from Louisiana, she can cook. I'm like, I don't know, I'm not cooking for him. So
yeah, it started out crazy. He said, hey, pack your bag, you go stay with us. And I'm like, okay, not a problem. Both of us was personal trainers. I was training at Bally's at the time. She was training at NASA, Space Center. So, and we literally lived down the street from one another, did not even know it. Knew the same people. My professor was her godmother. It was
all the same people from Southern
my
University.
friends was her friends, but we never met at all. And so it was crazy how that went down. Then while we were there at the house, we stayed the whole weekend. They threw a big party, and I pulled a smooth move to get her number.
Lord.
It was really smooth.
What was the move? What was the move?
The move was the the move was this. So we playing dominoes. We was playing dominoes, and my frat brother pulled out a video on his phone, or did you pull it out?
It was him.
It was him, and he sent it to me. So it was real funny. We shared it. So what I did, just a simple move. I said, hey, I can send this to you, but you got to give me your number.
Okay.
Real simple.
I recognized the game.
And she recognized game, and she was like, all right, I'll give it to you. I was like, bet. So that's just how that went down that night. And
but what they did do to us was make us both sick that same night, because both of us being trainers, we didn't do fast food. We're eating our 3 meals, our 3 meals a day. We eating our greens. They took us to McDonald's. Our stomach both were jacked.
Man, our stomach was messed
for the whole night. So it's like I'm trying to run away from the table, like, excuse me, let me go to the ladies' room. Like, oh my gosh, my stomach.
Yeah, so thank God they had 2 bathrooms in their house.
Wow.
It was. I think we got something simple. We got McDouble and some fries. By the time we got to his house on the north side, both our stomachs was turning. So when she flew to the bathroom, I didn't know she had diarrhea. So neither one of us knew. Both of them, man, look, when it messed our stomach up, it messed our stomach. So she flew to the bathroom. I ended up flying to the other bathroom, and we met at the same time back at the domino table, and kept going back and forth.
No, man.
We was.
So who made the first move? Was you? Yes.
Yeah,
Mr. Rod. Yes.
I made the first move. So we spent while we were spending the night. She slept on the couch, was it?
We were all away
Yeah, we
across. I
stayed.
was like, I'm in a room with a strange man. I don't know
Yeah,
him.
so she slept on the couch. I slept on the floor all the way on the other side of the room. Neither one of us want to
Okay.
get near each other. So that's how that went down the first night. The second night, we sat down and we talking and enjoying one another's company. So long story short, when she was going to sleep, I kissed her on her forehead and we went to sleep.
Okay.
So, I was being subtle. I was
Yep.
being subtle. Those touches matter. So that's what I
Yeah,
was doing.
yeah.
Putting the touches in.
Don't touch it. But you know what?
I see you rolling over there, but yeah, that's how it went down.
Hold
I
on.
mean, hey, this is your story, so
Oh
I'm
yeah,
just
oh yeah.
listening, giving the viewers to listen so they can believe that love still
Love
exists. I
actually
mean,
happens, right? Because you know what? I'm not gonna say we were hopeless romantics. We both have been divorced, and probably hurt in two of the worst ways possible, from infidelity to a gun threat. So it's like for myself, I was like, I'm not even about to get married no time soon. I'm not even about to date till my daughter turns 15 or 16. At that time, she was 5, so
how
I
old is
was
she now?
done. 17.
17.
Look at
Yeah, so
that.
and I told Ariane when we was dating, I said, oh, I'm not getting married for 10 years. So she turned around and said, oh, so what's the point of this relationship? And I ain't even let her go. She was going through certain things personally with her kids and
The ex
ex-husband and stuff
spouse.
like that. She said, look, I don't want to drag you into this. I said, I'm not going anywhere. I'm like, look, you're not going through this by yourself.
He did.
And she looked
He
at me.
did.
I'm from Chicago. I just, we just say what we feel. We just say
Right.
it. And
Mm-hmm.
when I said, okay, now what you want to eat? And that was it for me. I'm like, okay, I'm not letting you go through this by yourself. You're a good woman. I know not to let you go. And then I took her around all my friends. So I learned from the first time. I took her around my friends, my family, everybody. Anybody that
What?
would not lie to me, I took her around.
Then you took her back to Chicago.
I took her to Chicago. My
What part of
parents moved from
Chicago are you
Chicago.
from?
I stay out in the south side of Chicago, and we moved closer out. We was actually out in the Markham area, and then we got
Okay.
bussed out to Tinley Park High School from where we were. But I stayed out in that area, and I took her there, and then from there, she met my friend. She met my
Okay.
brothers, my sisters, my sister-in-law. Uh, who else? When I brought up, my parents moved
His
from
parents.
Illinois to
And
Georgia.
Okay.
So we drove from Baton Rouge. No, Baton Rouge. I'm sorry, Houston. Was it Houston? We were
yeah,
staying in
Houston.
Houston that
He was
time.
in Houston.
Houston to Georgia and met my parents. My
Okay.
mom doesn't like anybody. Period. She don't like no
Okay.
she raised 4 boys and four men and a young lady. And with
Okay.
anybody we date, she ain't like anybody. There's only 3 women she like. Her daughter and my wife and my brother's wife. She really don't care about nobody
Mm.
else. That's just
So
how
how
she
was
is.
that? How was that first meeting right there when moms and your wife?
Okay, so you hush now. Yeah. Okay. While he skipped a lot, but you know who the talker is, got it going on, Mr. the Pimp over here.
Nah, I ain't no pimp.
I mean, I
I ain't no
seriously, I was
pimp.
like, no, we're not doing
Nah.
this relationship. But I mean, he
You-
was mature. Even and I'm a fly back first for at the blind date. We talked. There was a night, one of the nights that they had us kidnapped. We actually sat and talked. We
Mm-hmm.
worked out obviously, because we're trained. So it's like, that was a competition. I'm like, I'm not gonna let him outdo me. I
Oh
mean,
yeah,
Right.
that's
that
he had
story, huh?
bounties.
That story, huh? Yeah.
And
My
so
gosh.
I had just had surgery on my foot, and
Mm-hmm.
I could tell then, I'm like, he from Chicago, he cocky. I'm not gonna date him. We'll be cool. But he he walks over, takes his shirt off. I mean, he was making moves, y'all, the entire time. Takes
Of
his shirt
course,
off,
of
and all I see
course.
is, chocolate guy. Hey, are you finished? Like, are
Six
you?
pack and everything. Of course, I'm gonna show it off. I'm playing
Because I'm
football
not
and
paying
everything.
attention. I'm like, I don't want it, but he gonna make me look. But
Mm.
we actually had a conversation, you all, because a blind date, you have what, 24 hours to make that impression, or how many hours, and they gave us the whole weekend. And what we did, you talked about our past, things that we expect, things that we did to kind of feel each other out. And I could tell immediately, though, however, that it wasn't about drama and BS. It wasn't about just the tone. It wasn't about other women and stuff like that. Look, are you genuine and are you for me? It was kind of where his conversation was.
Okay.
Um, you know, and knowing what he had gone through in the past relationship, I'm like, okay, I think he might still be hurt. I'm gonna back off. You know, we'll still be cool, but I'm gonna back off. Given that space. You know, now here you are 12, almost 13 years later, telling this story about, you know, just two people who met, you know, surrounded by the same people. Now to fast forward back to meeting the mom, the first time I actually talked to her, and she would deny this at all costs. I love you, mama. She's on. But he was playing football. He played arena ball, and he broke his finger basically. He's like, hey, just call my mom. So I'm thinking because we're dating, she knows who I am.
Right.
I haven't met her yet, nothing like that. And so I called. I was like, hi, how you doing? This is Ariane. I'm Damon's girlfriend, blah, blah, blah. She said, who? Where's my son? Where's my son? I'm like, he told me to call you. And, you know, immediately I go, she doesn't know anything about me. So he's in the hospital. He told me to call. They're checking his finger to make sure it's not broken and blah, blah, blah. Well, tell my handsome son when he is finished to give me a call. And I just look at the phone like, what? So that's my first time meeting her. I'm like, oh, she think her kid's all that. Damn, call your mama, you know. And she said she did not say that, but she said it. But when I actually met them face to face, and she will argue, we had the same argument. We're actually in Georgia with them now. She said that I'm just like her. And I'm like, I don't know, you are stubborn. You be fussing at people. What would, you know, but, you know, she likes to shop. I hate shopping. The first time I came, okay, we're going shopping. I'm like, gee, why? But we go shopping. We got to, you know, we got the bond. We got the mingle. His dad wouldn't say anything. He just looked at me. He wouldn't say nothing but good morning. All right, how you doing? And I'm trying to figure out, like, he doesn't like me at all. Only to find out they had a conversation after, and he was like, okay, yeah, she's the one, keep her. But he didn't say anything. So the first meeting was really good. Everybody got along. He had 2 girls. I had a boy, girl. So the kids got along. We had everybody together. It was good. It was really good when we met.
So did you ever cook for him during that proceeding? Like you said, you wasn't cooking. You said I'm not cooking at all.
Did. Yes, she did. She made succotash. It's a Louisiana dish. And and that was one of my,
and he ate the whole thing.
I ate all of it.
He didn't. It was at a gathering, the same gathering of the blind date. I wound up cooking. And so after it was done, he saw the rest of what was in the pot. And it was like, hey, anybody gonna eat this? And they're like, no, he ate the entire rest of the pot. And so, and I still cook today. So yeah, y'all cook for your man. It's not a domesticated thing, but it, you know, he loves that.
She wasn't playing no games in the kitchen, and I wasn't playing no games eating it. So I made sure I ate it. So
hey, the only way to go through with it though. But you know, like, so my next question is, so you were like going through something, and he basically told you, I'm not going to let you go through this by yourself. So obviously I can see that he fulfilled this promise. So once he started fulfilling his promise, once you heard him say basically in so many words, I got you, how did that make you feel inside? And he started showing you that he had you.
Coming out the last relationship, someone saying they got you, but someone showing you that they got you, totally different things. And so, you know, as far as being uplifting, he was there. As far as being prayer, we keep God first in our relationship. That is literally the first thing. We pray together, you know, we cry together, we do everything in that realm first. God first, then us. So knowing that background, it's like, okay, I was a hurt person as well. And it was like something that was a constant. And so he's like, look, I'm not letting you, you know, it was like he helped to build me back up. He helped put the pieces back together where I didn't feel like I was going to just fall. I felt very, very secure and protected being with him. He never let me feel like, you know, I was ever alone or anything was going to happen to me. I could go to him for anything. I could talk to him literally, even to this day, about any and everything. I have nothing to hide. So it was a very secure feeling. And I think that helped to also build a relationship, knowing I can trust him with anything, literally.
Got you. And then that's when it just popped off. And say, now I'm gonna bring the Mavericks back in now, because we about to play a game now. We about to play some games out here. All right, so
all right, Monks. How y'all doing, Monks?
What's up, Franklins?
What's going on?
Just chill.
This is what I want. I want the women to explain the proposal. How did the proposal go down? Mrs. Franklin, Mrs. Myrick, how did the proposal go down?
You sure you want me?
All right. Look, Miss Monk, mine is good and simple. Mine is simple.
Mine, anything, mine is blur.
Oh Lord. It was
Either or can go first.
Okay,
right.
so he again.
Time out.
No, let me go ahead.
Time out.
Come on, man. Anybody got all night?
I'm calling the timeout.
Let me explain. See, because all right, so remember now, he told y'all that I was the choir girl,
right?
And he was the other, right? And
right.
So, I was a good Christian girl, but I wasn't perfect. I like to do things. You know what I'm saying? Like to feel.
God wasn't done with you yet.
So one day I was just like, yo, I'm not perfect. I'm far from perfect. Other than cursing every once in a while and getting a little booty. I mean, I just don't want to live in sin no more. So what's up? I mean, we've been together. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, what's up? And he was basically like, damn, will you marry me? And that was it.
Oh, wow.
So you basically said, I'm tired of living in sin. We're going to do this for this.
Might as well make this official.
It wasn't actually like that. It was kind of like that.
Well, tell your version.
It wasn't totally like that.
Hurry up, man.
But it's close. I'll ride with that one.
Okay. That's it.
I don't think mine will be any better, so I'll ride with that one.
All right, Mrs. Franklin. How did Mr. Franklin propose? We got somebody else coming?
No, that's actually me because I think I turned. I don't know. I turned them off.
Oh, okay, that's cool. How did it go with you and Damon?
So we met May 2008.
Yeah.
He had an opportunity to try to be on the Bears, the practice squad of the Bears. So he left in September. And that's kind of when I knew he was the one. I didn't want to be without him because he had to leave. And I started crying at the airport, like, why am I crying? I don't want to cry. What's going on? And so I'm like, yeah, he got to come back. I need him back. So he goes and he comes back like in May. And so he drove his car back down from Chicago back to Texas. I think that's where our daughter came from. But somewhere in between that time, she was conceived.
She was a love child.
Stuff happens. Stuff happens.
It was all his fault. But
I take the blame. Go ahead.
But once we got back home, it was like, we're discussing like, okay, look, we can't be apart. We really want to be. We know we want to be together at this point. It's been a year, but we already know. And he was like, I mean, if we get married, I can stay in my apartment, you can stay at your apartment, then we'll just have the baby and blah, blah, blah. I'm like, what? I'm like, that doesn't make sense. We go to the pastor of the church. And so we literally do a marriage counseling session because he's like, look, we should just get married. And then it was no like down on we should get married. His dad, had your dad met me by that time?
Yeah.
We had met by that time. So yeah, he had approval from dad and all that. But and I didn't have my father or whatever. So I mean, it didn't matter if he would have approved or not. But I went to the pastor of the church, and so for our counseling session, he finds out that we're pregnant. He's like, well, it's been a hot summer then, huh? Literally. And so his question to us, look at the monks, he laughing. His question to us was, can you see yourself without him? I say, no, honestly, I can't. And then he asked him the same thing. He started, well, we just got to make it right with God first. He said, well, she's pregnant now, sir. What do you want to do? You gonna marry her or not? He's like, yeah. He's like, can you see yourself without her? He's like, no. All right. Well, when y'all get married, and this is how it happened.
We end up getting married.
So we got married on October 10th, 2009.
October 10th, 2009.
Yep.
All right. So I'm listening. Go ahead.
Oh, so when I went to Chicago, I went there, and I was actually going to try to work out with the Chicago Rush arena football, and that's when the downturn of the economy, and that was the election year of a transition year with Obama and Bush. So there was a lot of stuff going on that year. So everything got shut down. So it couldn't work out. But it was when I got back, it was what I heard from my mom and dad when I brought her here to meet my parents. My mom was kept saying after they met, it's like, oh, that's a good girl. She's good. I like her. I'm like, that's interesting. My mom, I like her. Wow. I'm like, so that was like, and that was the last straw was my dad. My dad is a person of a man of few words, and when he say things, they're profound. And when he told me, he looked at it, he gave me a hug. I gave my parents a hug, and my dad said, yeah, that's a good girl. Yeah. Take care of her. Take real good care of her. And that was a confirmation right there. Man, my parents been married over 55, was it 57 years now?
57 years.
57 years.
Wow.
And when he told me that, I was like, that's it. I'm locking her down. That's it. That's a wrap.
So my next question would be to Mr. Franklin and Mr. Maverick. So both of y'all seem been married for a good time now, a lengthy period. So what would you think? What is y'all? I'm going to talk to you first, Mr. Maverick. What is your secret, to making the marriage work for as long as it worked for this lifetime? What is your secret?
I'm not very argumentative, and I'm easier at letting things go for the most part, as opposed to keeping an argument going and things like that. I don't have a problem saying all right and then just figuring out the go between.
But that's not longevity. That's not the secret.
It is, because I'm not very argumentative.
We can argue about it right now.
She playing.
So basically what I'm getting, because one of my elder statesmen that I work with, he always tell me about his marriage. He say, yo, the key to my marriage is I pick my arguments. Some stuff, it ain't even worth it. Just okay, all right, whatever, and go from there. And certain things but they've been married for I think 40 something years. So he just like his key is just his 4 words: listen to the woman. He said that's his 4 words.
That's pretty much it.
Yeah, but now we're about to go into a whole different kind of discussion, because I mean I can subscribe to that belief, but I'm also a big proponent of communicating. So if something is bothering you, don't be afraid to argue. Everything doesn't have to be an argument per se, but we definitely should communicate about it, because what if I'm stepping on his heart in some form or fashion? I don't want to make that same mistake again. In his mind, I'll just let it go. But in my mind, talk to me and tell me about it. You know what I'm saying? But again, that might be a different story for a different day. But
here it is 20 years later. We've been together from what, 2000? Yeah. 2000, late 2000, married since 99, married since 2003. So it works.
It works.
Mm-hmm.
So what about you, Mr. Franklin? What's the secret to keep? You said y'all been married for what, 13 years, 12 years, something like that?
Been about next year be 12. We've been married 11 years, been together
years.
12 and a half.
So what's your secret with Mrs. Franklin to keep everything healthy?
Well, to keep everything, I'm always she was right. Yeah. I'm not even about to argue that point. But seriously, it's well, of course, we keep God first. We have communication. We have all of those things. We have we make sure our vision mesh our purpose. Our purpose that God has given us. But what that key that we have, and our parents taught us this, and she's about to laugh as soon as I say it. And our parents taught this, and the key to our marriage is make love and make love often.
They came from his mama.
And the thing is,
not just intimacy.
See, so, and it's not just being physical. And a lot of people think of it as just physical, which is fun. Don't get me wrong. But the what you laughing for? So, but the thing is, it's the touches for no reason, the contact with the eyes, just those simple touches.
Right.
You know, not going to bed mad. Because when you think about it, when you're in that moment with your spouse, in all of
Right.
those small little moments and the big moments, even if you was angry, after the fact, are you gonna remember what y'all was really angry about? Are you really gonna be mad? Are you really gonna be mad? You ain't gonna be thinking like this person that got on my nerves and you go get into the no, that ain't about to happen. You gonna forget everything that you completely had a problem with, unless it's something major that you deal with. Of course, that's natural. But you know, when you have those small touches, those intimate moments, the hand in the small of the back, the stroke of the hair, the kiss on the forehead, stuff holding hands, all those different things, you know, those matter. You got to remember that how you caught her.
Right.
You still dating while you're married, and you keep
And
those
that's
things
true.
going. You know.
And that is very, very, very true. So now I'm gonna still stay with y'all, gentlemen. So you know your wives. What is the one movie that'll still make her cry to this day?
One movie. We don't watch a lot of TV though.
Movies.
What movie made me cry?
One movie would make her cry. Wow.
A movie? Well, I don't think we do movies like that.
We don't do movies?
Not like that.
Well, not anymore.
Cry?
Everything makes me cry. Everything. You know what I'm saying? I can watch the news. The weather report makes me cry. What do you mean it's gonna rain tomorrow? I'm just an emotional being. I don't think he can. The reason why he's having such difficulty is because I cry watching everything. So that's really why.
If the Falcons beat the Saints, then that's it's like wow.
There you go.
Exactly. Here we go.
If any movie that she'll cry, it has to be something that's maybe a documentary movie that's real touching or moving. That's the only thing. Like Katrina, like when the levees break.
Okay.
That'll make that made me cry. I was upset, but something like that.
But that hit home though. That hit home.
Yeah, that hurt. Yeah, I still to this day haven't finished watching it.
Yeah, me neither. Me neither.
I think I got to what, 2?
Yeah, you can.
Part 2 of it.
I couldn't finish them.
Yeah.
So that's
all right. All right. So, in your relationship, who is the most stubbornest? The most stubborn? Y'all pointing to each other, Mavericks, and y'all both point. Why do y'all both say that each other stubborn?
Franklin's, what did y'all do? One of these two?
No, he talking to.
Oh, okay. His opinion. He's entitled to it.
Which is why I said I find myself a lot of times being like, all right, it ain't worth the argument. Okay, we'll figure it out. I'll do my workaround to make the lady
right.
happy.
But when I say, hey, babe, I don't want to make the same mistake twice. Why don't you just talk to me? He refuses to talk about it, which makes him the most stubborn in this relationship.
If you get your way, what difference do it make? If you get your way, what difference do it make?
I know what it seems, but I really do love this dude. Like I really know.
20 years, I know you do.
20 years.
You know, thank you, Mr. Franklin. Thank you, Damon. Yeah.
20 years, yeah. You gotta love this. You have to love this guy. After you invited him from New York to Pittsburgh on the bus.
Exactly. And then let's not, and then when he got there, don't forget I was wining them, dining them, taking them to lunch on the mountaintop and all that kind of stuff. It was great.
I was getting sweated.
All right. He was getting sweated. So
I was getting sweated.
Hey, I used to I cooked, so I think I cooked more. I still cook during the marriage, but I think I cooked a lot more when we dated than I do now. Because he also likes to cook though. So then we have competition. So it's like he still can't figure out the gumbo thing, but he's figured out like the red beans and rice and everything else. He makes a chili, I make a gumbo.
I don't mess with the gumbo. She makes a dynamite gumbo. Why should I mess with it? My
Well, at
job is to
least
make sure
I'm
the
about to come
ingredients
to
are
your
there.
house.
at
I'm about to
least
come to your
he's
house in a minute.
trying. At least
Oh,
he's
God, coming to the
trying.
house. And he said
You
he
know what
trying.
I'm saying?
I want some gumbo.
Yeah, I do too.
Yeah, see, so
The address is come down to Baton Rouge in Louisiana. We'll
Freeze
invite
that
you. Come
joint.
on.
Freeze that joint. Send it express.
Hey, you gotta do what you got. We would definitely like some of that. So I did have a question and it lost my mind. Okay, so what is the all four of y'all, besides the wedding and the proposal, what is the most rememberable thing that you've done for each other that you can remember that most made you the most happiest?
There's a lot of those. Franklin, y'all go first.
That's when you've been in a
So,
relationship for a long time. That's
Yeah,
hard.
that's
Mr.
it.
Franklin, Mr. Franklin is a saxophone player.
Oh,
Um, someone, well, his ex-wife basically, helped him lose probably the best saxophone ever that was given to him by his instructor. So when I did, when we got married, we had 2 kids each. He had the 2 girls, I had 2 boys, and we had 2 more together. So we have a total of 6 kids.
she couldn't keep her hands off.
You just said you gotta keep
Here
on
we go.
humping.
Here we go.
You just said after 13 years you gotta hump every day. I
I
expect
mean,
more than
I
that.
mean,
Hey, that's why you don't have a TV in your room.
no TV. Yeah.
No TV. You make your own
Oh,
movies. No, anyway, go ahead.
I'm taking notes, so when I do get to this pinnacle, no TV in the room.
But no, but I was like, okay, everybody's always told me how great of a saxophone player he was and everything else. So my son, of course, he's his stepfather, but he called him Daddy D at one point, and now he actually just says dad, obviously.
Okay.
But he also is like, I'm gonna join the band when I get to school. I'm like, what? You an athlete, you don't want to do band, but he gets the saxophone. And Damon, we had to rent the saxophone and whatnot. So he comes home and he sounds like an elephant in the house. I'm like, fix it, honey, please fix it. And so, within like a week, our son started playing like half the book because he was also a band director. And so
Right.
whenever you say his name, they Damon Franklin. I'm like, he's really that good? Yeah, okay. I'm not, I don't know. I've never heard him play at this point. So one night, I think, when you have cable, you have like the music that just plays like on the 800 channels or whatever. And so he goes to
I'm
the
not even wondering why y'all listen to the 800 channels, but I can figure out by now
well,
what
no,
y'all
the
said.
music channel, Yeah, stop playing.
I know what
not
it
the
is.
X ones.
No.
But
I'm not talking about the X ones. I'm talking about the 800 channels where it's just music playing. There ain't no screens. It's a black screen with music playing.
That's it. That's all you need.
And so what he did, he grabbed the saxophone. The kids are kind of down in the back in the bed or whatever. And he just started to play. So I'm in the back. I love the saxophone. And I go, wait a minute. That's not the TV. That's Mr. Franklin. Damon is playing the sax. I mean, and it's not like a scripted play. He is just playing freestyle to this jazz. And I just go, oh, he good like that. Oh, okay, cool. All right, this is why you was in Southern Band. I got it, right?
Right.
And so I'm like, okay, we got to get him a saxophone. So now I start this whole plight about finding him a saxophone. I got to get him a sax. Where am I? The one that he wants is a $10,000 sax. I'm like, oh, we just got a house. Hold on. Hold down. I'm still the trainer. He's working at 24-hour fitness. I'm training and teaching classes or whatnot. It's like, okay, well, I'm at the strip or something. We got to get the saxophone. But Christmas of 2017? 2017. I start calling. Now I'm now acquainted with the frat, with the people in the jukebox. Like, look, y'all need to help me find this sax. And so I equate finding his saxophone to what a man probably felt like looking for an engagement ring, because what does he like? How does he play? What is this, a good one? Is it a bad one? I'm sending pictures to his frat brothers, to his crowd brothers, the band director of Southern at the time. He's like, that's a nice one, but that's like training wheels for him. He needs a real bike. You have to get this, and this. And so I finally find the sax. So the memorable moment is that Christmas came. We drove from Texas to Atlanta. I had wrapped it at home, packed it in a bag, got it here. He never even knew it was here. When he opened it,
I was the one that put it in the car and didn't even know.
He packed it. Didn't know what it was. His mom, his dad, everybody knew about the saxophone except him. And so when he opened it, he just put his head down like, oh my gosh.
Cry like a baby. Show dead. Emotion.
I get it. Yeah.
Wait, were you able to find the actual sax or something similar?
So it was very similar. It wasn't that one. It was one that was like $3,500, but I actually found it
by the grace of God. This one, she don't like shopping.
And they discounted it because they lost the price tag. So I got it at a lower price anyway. And
lower.
We got it.
Oh no, see, you ain't about to play that. No, I'm putting her on blast on this one. She got this saxophone. She got a 20, but it was a praise $2,500 saxophone.
Made in France.
And she got the saxophone. Don't fall out your chair. She got the saxophone for $175.
Wow. The price tag. It was probably priced
higher. She shops like this all the time. Her and my mom can find any deal.
Yeah, but
that's what I'm talking about. That's dope.
Now he plays all over. He's been playing at church. He's been playing at weddings. He played for the Deltas. He's playing everywhere now. So
that is great.
If you go to his Facebook Live, he went live for Christmas. He played for Christmas. He just went live and played. Just grabbed it and started playing. So
my great uncle was Thelonious Monk, Damon.
See, I was gonna ask that question when I saw the last name Monk. I'm like, they gotta be related.
No way.
That's my great uncle. So I get that. Like they teach him. Listen, I got a tear in my eye because I know that type of excitement. You know what I'm saying? So you got a good woman. You better,
Oh, she ain't going nowhere. I'm sorry. She's stuck like Gorilla Glue. She ain't going nowhere.
What about down there with y'all, Myrick? So like, what some story like that? You have anything in that nature?
I do. So I told you about the engagement, how we became engaged, right? He made up for it. So when we got married in 2003, I couldn't find any resources for the bride of color, right? You could Google African-American bride, and I promise you, I couldn't even come up with a picture. And so what we decided to do was we created a community, and this is before Facebook, Twitter, Instagram. We created a community called Chocolate Brides. And the purpose was it was a message board, and its purpose was to allow African-American brides virtually gather to exchange, ideas about their wedding.
Is it still up to date?
It's not up to date, but the Facebook page is still up. There might be about 50,000 people on it. I honestly, I kind of let it go, but I'll tell you why in a minute.
And that's Chocolate Brides, so they can know where to go just in case anybody check.
Facebook is Chocolate Brides and Grooms.
Yeah, the Facebook. Once you put in Chocolate Brides and Grooms, you'll see it come up. So again, it just started initially just like as a message board for brides to say, oh, how you getting your hair done? Things that you couldn't find like in the traditional mainstream bridal magazine. And so it started growing and growing and growing. It got so big until brides started literally inviting each other to each other's weddings because it was they started developing real live friendships and whatnot. And so the message board grew to a blog. The blog grew to a website. And once we did the website and we're getting interviews everywhere, we was in Black Enterprise magazine. We was on BET, Al Sharpton, Michael Baston. It was huge. And then all of a sudden we decided, well, why don't we try to actually publish a actual magazine? There are no Black bridal magazines out there like this.
Right. So
we did it. And he surprised me. When we got ready to launch, we decided to what I thought would be like a party, like a magazine launch party. People flew in we had a girl fly in from the Netherlands to this launch party. Turns out it was bigger than a launch party. It was a renewal. So we launched the magazine and he asked to marry me again. And it was like over 1,000 people there. It was incredible.
That is awesome.
Yeah, so
my dude,
definitely awesome.
So I asked why I didn't. So again, this is a 3-time cancer survivor here. She survived cancer 3 times.
Woo!
So that was
whoa!
part of the reason.
Congratulations.
A lot of the
Thanks.
so we just had to put a lot of things to the side. So she had colon cancer 20, but like you said, when it's ironic. I think we launched the magazine in 2007. So again, right around that time when everything is crashing. So it was a great idea, wrong time. So we took some hits with that, but we held on. But then when she was diagnosed with cancer 2011, then again 2012, and then again 2014. I think 2014.
Thyroid, colon cancer twice.
So that kind of pushed that to the side. But again, we here. She's here. That's the beauty of it. We went again. I supported her from radio, supported the bridal, and now I'm supporting her voiceover career. So she went from doing radio to doing voiceover, and literally when we were in Raleigh, there was a contest in I think Richmond, Virginia, and she wakes up crying. Oh, I wanted to go, but she was actually dealing with what is it called? Neuropathy.
I couldn't walk.
Dealing with neuropathy from chemotherapy, so she didn't want to go because she was felt like she had pins in her feet. He was using a walker. Right. So I was like, you know what? You want to go to this voiceover contest? Let's go. Took her to Richmond. She had a walker. It was a long ordeal. It was like an American Idol type thing. So at the end of the day, she didn't win, but they offered her a contract anyway. And that started her career in voiceover. So that's where we end up now. And then we come back here to Boston. And then I was nice enough to take what would have been my office here and make her a studio. Like, who does that?
Your man cave is going.
You gave up your man cave.
Gave up your
studio.
Exactly.
That's love. That's love.
That is love.
Hey, that's a thick and through thin.
It's now a studio.
The thick and the thin.
There you go.
That's it. Wow.
So he loves me. He loves me.
I mean, when I first got on here, I knew he loved you 10 hours a week on the bus.
Yeah. And them Greyhounds be funky too. Like,
right.
You know what I'm saying?
Funky, bad kids crying. Like, nah, man. That's crazy.
And bro, we talking 2000. So we're not dealing with iPods and I'm carrying a little TV like this.
Oh my goodness.
I'm carrying a little TV
black and white
the bus to listen
what school did you guys
TV.
What school did you guys go to?
Sure.
Yeah, they shot. Yeah. So I know we said only an hour and we ran over, but before y'all go, I want y'all to actually give some encouraging words to the actual singles and some couples that are watching that may be going through something or may not be going through something. Like, give them some type of encouragement to say, y'all been 20 years, y'all been 12 years. Let them know, like, things are still available for them. Whatever y'all got to say, y'all can have the floor. I give y'all the floor.
I'll keep this quick as possible. I would definitely say what you see on the outside, because it's like, oh, they have fun, they're a beautiful couple, whatever. We have our bad days too, and those days come. Like I stated before, number one was to keep God first. And that's what we do. If you do go to sleep, don't go to sleep, man, because it carries over to the next day. Then it carries over to the next day and to the next and then that builds into something that just pops at the end. And so then you just prepare it when you can. So just to piggyback on what Ms. Monk said, definitely have a communication where you're listening and talking, not just talking. Because anybody can yap all the time. But if you're listening for a response, then you're not going to get anything fixed or accomplished. And that's just going to drive a wedge in your relationship. So you have to listen to each other. And then as far as the making love often, and then I'll be done because I think Mr. Franklin wants to say something.
Well,
as far as just that though, one of the things like just how do you know what they like or not like? I listened to a show the other day and they're like, you never know what they want and blah, blah, blah. You do know what a person wants. If that person is someone you want to be with, they're your friend first and then they're your lover, You just pay attention to this, just subtle things. What kind of candy they like? What kind of things do they like to eat? What's nasty to them? What kind of season? Just pay attention. Don't ask. Just pay attention. The more you pay attention, the more you see things that you wouldn't have seen before. And I can promise you, almost 100% of the time, you can hit the nail on the head and get it right. And that's all I got.
I would say to add to that, uh, keep people out of your relationship.
Word.
Do not allow outside forces to invade your household. If you have an issue, you handle the issue. Me, I'm a child of God. I go to God. I go for counsel. Of course, if you have to go outside, you seek professional help or somebody that's truly going to help you guide you in the right direction. Don't tell everybody your business when it comes to your marriage. Keep
Right.
outside forces out. And two, do not, whatever you see on TV is not real. Bachelor is not real. Bachelorette is not real. What's those? I don't even look at them. The reality shows, they
Oh,
got
the
these
house
real house like
husbands and
that is
housewives.
not
Yeah.
real. That is fake as all get out. Half them people ain't married anyway.
Right.
Leave that stuff alone. That is a fairy tale from the pit of hell. That is not marriage. Marriage is work. It's of course there's love, there's fun, but it is work. It is a 24-hour job. And it's
Right.
not nothing to be scared of. It's a challenge, but it's fun. When you marry
It
the
should be
right
fun.
life, your life with that person, it's not that you marry somebody to be with someone. I married my wife because I could not see myself without her. I could not breathe. It felt like I couldn't breathe without her. If I can't reach over and just touch a leg,
Oh,
something wrong. I gotta have my.
I'm
And
about to
then,
shed a tear. This is
you know,
beautiful.
exactly. Like,
This is
really?
beautiful. I'm about to shed a tear.
and there was several times in our lives where we were separate, job related,
Oh
and
my
all of it
goodness.
was basically job related. Because I
And you had
worked
to go to the
I had
hospital.
to go to the hospital, and my wife was there with me. I went through a lot when it comes to my feet. I got a flesh-eating bacteria. I lost my big toe on my left foot. Then I
Mm.
had 2 more surgeries on that foot. I was working in refineries, and I got
And you
my
got
feet.
burned on
I
both
got burned
feet.
on both feet. I
Could
couldn't
not
walk.
walk.
Couldn't walk for
Mm.
months. But my wife
Wow.
was there. She was there with me every step of the way because my goal is to make sure her wants and needs are met. Her interests are. I want her. What I have in my heart is for her best interest, and vice versa. So forget what I want, and she feel the same way. And both our needs are met every single
And
time.
I think that's like one of the biggest things that people don't understand. And that, especially, what you just said, coming from a man's point of view, you gotta remove yourself and put her first. You gotta put the other person first, and go from there. I think a lot of people are more selfish, like, nah, if I can't get it, then she not gonna get it. And I see what you're saying is like her needs were met. And when you had your surgeries, she was right there every step of the way because you promised her that you had her and you showed her that you had her and
Mm-hmm.
she took you to the airport and she said she never cries and she cried.
Yeah,
Bring it back up.
she cried. She cried. Yep,
Like
showed
a
it.
baby. Didn't want to be without him. Like, oh my, bring him back. But yeah.
And then this last job, I literally just moved back to Louisiana because I was still working in Texas. So
Okay.
I was staying with a friend of mine, and of course we talked
Driving back and forth.
driving back and forth, 4-hour drive back and forth every other week or every week back home to see my wife and kids. And it got to the point where you talking about homesick. Oh my gosh, this sucked. I really enjoyed it, but I can't see myself without it at all.
Your better half wasn't there with you to enjoy the
Yes.
things that you enjoy. I
Yes.
Oh,
totally get it. So what about y'all, Mavericks? What do you have to tell to the people, about still believing in love and, marriage and things of that nature?
I really truly believe that the secret sauce to a successful relationship is patience. You know, and it took me a while to realize this, but everything ain't about me. You know, I had to become a little bit more open-minded. When we did reach rough patches, I had to realize that, you know, maybe he's going through something. You know what I mean? I had to be a little bit more open-minded with that regard. I also truly believe that no relationship is perfect, you know, and with that, you need patience. You know what I'm saying? You have to be at least willing to work through the rough patches. And I'm gonna go ahead and say it because too many Black people, unfortunately, aren't receptive to therapy. There's absolutely, especially look at all of the crap that we done been through in 2020. You know what I'm saying? With the loss of life and the pandemic and really not being able to tap in any version of normalcy whatsoever. It doesn't hurt to talk to a therapist. I'm a huge supporter of co-therapy. You know, I don't want to be up in session with a male therapist who may not be able to provide a woman's point of view. So it's always good to
or Black.
Or yeah, that's a whole nother story. You know, we have cultural differences. You know what I mean?
Yes, I understand that.
But you have to be willing. You have to be willing to work through it. And
which was one of the biggest things, like with her dealing with cancer. Like it was a lot of different issues, GI issues, and I was always on the hunt for Black doctors.
Yeah,
not just Black doctors, but Black female doctors.
Yeah.
But one of the things for me, just to piggyback on what the Franklin said, was you don't put people into your marriage. We do a lot of joking around, and for the most part, I mean, Keisha has had a high profile image just from her career. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
So therefore we don't, a lot of people see a lot of the, fun stuff and stuff like that, but we don't put people into our marriage like that. So, it's what you see is what we want you to see. You know what I'm saying? But nobody, not even our close friends. You know what I'm saying? I don't talk
keep them out your business.
Yeah.
Everything ain't for everybody.
No, it's not.
Period.
Your marriage isn't for anybody other than the people in that marriage.
True.
But that's pretty much, and then like he said, you gotta have fun. You know what I'm saying? You gotta have fun. And we've been to so many different, neither one of us had a traditional proposal. Yep, to get down on the knee, all of that, the nice proposal stuff. We're fans of all of that, but that doesn't necessarily equate to what's going to happen in the long term. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. I mean, we've been to, literally was at a wedding on the 50-yard line in Baltimore, the Baltimore Ravens.
Ravens. That's where I'm from, M&T Bank. Yes.
We were literally at a wedding from a football boy on a year later. That was,
there was toast.
It was a lot of money spent. Right. It looked good. It was blinging and everything, but a year later that marriage was gone.
So keep God first. Keep God first. In all thy ways acknowledge him, and he will direct your path. Right in the center of that marriage. And that's how you're gonna make it.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
Rely on the Lord.
Rely on the Lord.
Only.
He will work it out.
Yes.
I got another question before we go. Because somebody asked me, what were your wedding songs?
Oh
man. Who want to go first?
You go first, baby.
We didn't have a wedding song.
You sang a song, sir.
What song did I sing?
I Want to Be Loved by Eric Benet.
She did put me on blast on that one. I did do that one.
Yes, you did.
I did that one. But
you did.
I gotta watch it because she'll make me want to sing it tonight too. I know.
You got the saxophone.
See, yep, I did bring my sax, so I do. But our wedding was very simple. We went it was Saturday, right?
Went to the Justice of the
We went
Peace.
we went to a picnic.
A football game.
A football game.
Yeah,
Little league football game first, right?
Mm-hmm.
Picnic, Justice of the Peace, Chili's.
Period.
11 years later.
Nice.
And then y'all here, like I was just telling y'all, with the Bridal website and the magazine, we've been to a ton of weddings, and really one of the nicest weddings that we attended was this couple was in the house, and they literally moved all the furniture out the house. They put some white lights, put some, what do you call it, whatever, that see-through material. The walls were glowing.
The sheer.
The walls was glowing. They had the wedding right there in the house with 10 people. Nice little dinner.
But check it out, sis. Why did, because Chocolate Brides meant that much? I don't know what it was. It was just like that positive camaraderie, just Black women loving on one another. They dug that. They love me so much. Why they asked me to marry them? I went and got licensed. I promise you.
Oh man.
This is a movie
You went through
right
that too?
here.
Yes.
Yes. I became licensed and I married them. Yes. Promise you.
Oh man.
Yes.
No,
So real quick, because I know, yeah, it was dope. But going back to the music, because Damon, I know you appreciate this because I am music, right? So we literally gave as favors a CD of all of our favorite songs. And I worked on the radio, so I got like a bunch of celebrities to give congratulatory messages, and I put them like in between the songs. But our wedding song was Love of My Life by Erykah Badu and Common. I know it ain't traditional, but we ain't traditional.
So
I
it
understand
started with for the first dance, we started with Always and Forever, and then it scratched. And then they went to Erykah Badu doing Way Back, So that's how we did it.
That's tight. That is tight.
Oh man, this is definitely beautiful. This is probably one of my favorite shows right here to actually, see people in love. Black. I've done a lot since the show premiered since October. We've been down the road with infidelity, ghosting, more stuff. But this probably is my favorite show right here to see people actually in love, still in love, telling the viewers how to become in love because they don't listen to nobody. But I'm pretty sure they should listen to you. They don't listen to nobody. They don't listen to nobody.
At the end of the day, we can still tell them, but like old people used to say, we could take the horse to water, we can't make them drink.
Yeah.
I mean, yes, because what we see every day is the same thing. She's not the perfect weight. He's not right height. He's too short. He's this. She's that. Like, you gotta throw that away.
That's on TV and
but let me tell y'all this. Do you notice that when you Google something, let's say for instance, you just Google hotel, billion, you'll get a billion results. But once you just start saying, hotel only has 3 floors, only is yellow on the outside. Once you start putting in all of these descriptors, must be 5'9", got to make 6 figures, the smaller the pool will be. Just be a little bit more open-minded and trust when I tell you, HBCUs they produce a lot of great things. But they will produce a lot of good lovers. Your husband might be right there
initially
next to you in biology
I had on my list, man, Miss Mug, I wanted 6'4", had to be non-jealous, he had to be this, he had to be that. He's not 6'4", he's 6 foot, but I love him at 6 foot. 6'4" messed up. So we just.
So just to imagine if you would have put 6'4", he wouldn't have come up in the search engine.
No, I meant 6'4". I did. And 6'4" had to go. 6'4" was number one.
And see, and that's what I try to tell him. Try to tell him, say, hey, what you expect might not be right for you. So, like you just said, 6'4" turned into 6 foot. Whereas though I'm 5'9", where 6'4" could have turned into 5'8", 5'7", 5'6".
Right.
And
it's just those people with the specifications like that. I'm sorry, all of those specifications. Sometimes you're asking for all of those things. Well, I mean, bring something to the table that you might have something that they have to compromise with you as well. So remember, you have to be compromised with, and you have to be able to compromise with the other person. That is so important.
I'll say in short, in short of just to in short, or far as to, you know what I'm trying to say. But you never want to stop. I would say stop looking for the perfect person.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
You know, my mom told me that, she said, find somebody with flaws. There you will find more of a humble person.
Right.
They recognize that they have flaws. They
That's
recognize that they're not all that like a Barbie doll. They work on more of the inside than the outside. Because you can have a drop dead gorgeous person, and they can be hell on wheels.
Sure can. Yep.
Yeah.
And then
That's
because
true.
that beauty's gonna fade. What Robin Williams say? You know, beauty is an, what he say? Beauty is an art of hope. He said, beauty is only skin deep, but ugly is to the bone.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, you
That's
gotta
true.
definitely be beautiful
This is
inside
your other
because
voiceover friend when we not online.
I don't know what you're talking about. Fear. So
You're just not known yet.
oh man, like I said, I wish y'all peace and blessings and more years to come in your marriage. Thank you for sitting down with me for this hour and almost a half. I really appreciate it. The viewers love it. You know, I'm pretty sure it's gonna be great feedback, what they probably talk about later on tonight or tomorrow. But like I said, this is my house, but you're always welcome back if you want to come back.
I appreciate it, Rod.
My
I just
pleasure.
have a really
Thank you
quick.
so much.
We appreciate this opportunity. One really quick plug, because I am a great connector. You know, 2020 was a bitch. Let's keep it real. And I mean, it was just awful. And I just want to try to encourage as many people as possible to, be encouraged. Are y'all on Clubhouse? The app?
We just started that up. It
Yes,
just started just so today, I believe. Yeah.
Super dope, especially for a platform like this. Well, tomorrow I'm doing a voiceover Clubhouse. You may not necessarily understand or may not necessarily be interested in voiceover, but I've grabbed some of the world's most famous voices, all female, all women of color. It's going to be really dope. So look me up on Keisha Monk if you feel like it, on Clubhouse tomorrow at 7:00. It's gonna be really, really cool.
But
yeah,
for coming through here, Keisha, I got one favor to ask of you. Since you did radio and you are in the New York area.
Yeah.
I need to sit down with Tracy G.
Okay. Tracy G from back in the day?
No, Tracy G on Sway in the Morning.
Oh, Sway. Oh, Sway. Okay. You do know they West Coast though. Oh, well, I thought you was acting like they was in New York. Yeah, they're West Coast.
No, they are in New York for Shade 4-5 in the morning. Serious, yeah.
Sirius XM. Right. I thought you was you're talking about the XM show. Okay. I mean,
yeah. Heather
Instagram, what you need me for?
Sway in the morning. I was listening to Sway every morning. Sway, Heather B,
was she single
Tracy
or something?
G.
You trying to get
Nah, she not. No, I don't want no date. Just wanted to bring her on to talk about her yoga and her meditation stuff. Nah, she ain't single. She been with dude for I think 4 years or something. I can't remember
I
what
thought
she
you
said
was
on the
trying
radio.
to holler. I'm like,
no.
Right. Well, hit me up. Hit me
will,
up. I try to make the connection for you. All right.
I will hit you up. But if you're talking about like dating, I have a story just for like you, bro. How my dad sold me out. He know how big of a groupie I was for En Vogue. And he does, like, this was last year, and he does studio lighting. It's a big concert that comes to Meriwether Pavilion in the summer in Baltimore. This dude sends me a picture with all 4 of them instead of just inviting me backstage.
Oh,
I'm
man.
still hurt.
That sounds about right.
Your feelings is hurt for real.
Yeah, he did you dirty. He did you dirty like this one did me right here. He did you dirty.
Right. I was prepared. I was ready to, risk it all for En Vogue that day.
Did you dirty, bro?
Yes, definitely. But yeah, we on Clubhouse, and I'll definitely send some visits your way to your Clubhouse with the voiceovers. Have you did anything like notable, like Pixar, anything yet like that? Disney?
Well, this was my first year doing the Soul Train Awards.
First.
I said 4th. Didn't I say 4th?
You said your first year.
Oh, this is my 4th year being the voice of the Soul Train Awards. So I do live announce, and it's crazy because of COVID. They usually fly me out, put me up, and do the red carpet. All I had to do it from the house. Right in this room is where I did the live announce for the Soul Train Awards. But yeah, I've done a lot of national brands. You probably heard my voice somewhere.
I got you.
That's how you.
As I know Naisha, the Merriweathers in Columbia, but people understand it's Baltimore closer than Columbia. Stop it out there. I see them chatting about it. But you know, that is definitely our time. Thank y'all for coming on and sharing your experience on how everything went down from Shaw to Southern, from Louisiana to Chicago, from Brooklyn
Wait, what
to
school
Queens.
you went to? What school you went to?
The illustrious University of Maryland Eastern Shore.
Oh, okay.
You good? You good?
Hey, you went to
You
school.
all
too?
right?
Huh?
That's good. It's above.
If y'all,
Somebody said, what'd you say? I went to
I
school.
was gonna
Who?
say, I was just gonna throw a plug. If y'all are interested in fitness, just hit us up because that's what we
You
do.
could do Zoom fitness too this year. Again.
Nice.
Yeah,
Okay.
Well,
That's good.
so we got our own site, TNT Fitness on Facebook. So and we also do fitness. We have detox teas to hit your body up, get your body right, and getting everything set up, even with Bridge Imports, as far as bringing goods in from West Africa. We bring it from Ghana and all of that. So we do a lot of different things in that regard.
TNT what?
TNT Fitness.
TNT
on
TNT
Facebook.
Fitness on
TNT
Facebook.
Fitness on Facebook. My wife got it up. Yeah.
For sure.
Yeah.
Let me
Do
put it
hip
in the
hop steps,
comments. You can see.
yoga, all that stuff. So we do everything.
Okay. I'm gonna pull that up.
And Myron, we got you. Myron said he wants to be in your clubhouse for your voiceovers tomorrow.
Oh, it's gonna be dope.
That's just the name of the app, Clubhouse.
Yeah.
It's named, but you need a cell phone. I mean, I'm sorry, you need an iPhone in order to download the app.
Okay.
Right now it's in beta, so it's not available to Android users. And you also need an invite. It's exclusive. You just can't download it. So if you send me a mess, and it's limited, but if you hit me up on Facebook, I'll see if I have an extra invite to pull you on. Because again, I am a radio personality and I do voiceover. So I truly understand the power of the voice. It's incredible. It's the next big thing. Trust me. It's very, very interesting, but we'll talk about it. We'll talk about it.
For sure.
Like
Awesome. I sent the request.
Cool. We'll do.
But yeah,
got you.
So now when we go live on Facebook and we grab your little step and I'm like, get your weights, let's go. Y'all better come on.
Oh, they already talking to y'all now. They saying they need to lose.
To that right now.
Hey, you just take it one step at a time. Just remember, you do it better than the person that's still sitting on the couch.
Right.
You're right.
Absolutely.
Somebody just said they need to lose COVID weight and they want to lose COVID weight, but they want to keep their COVID booty. I don't
That
know.
can happen.
Hey, not to throw my business out there. I don't know who said it. I have the booty. My booty did not leave. It stayed. It's a pretty good one. But I'm starting a Core 48. It's gonna be a 4-week program. So I mean you can get it and I can ship you the drink to shrink detox. We can detox you and you can work out and it can be online. So wherever you are in America, we can still work out with you. Yes, ma'am or sir.
Thanks for the invite. We truly appreciate it.
We do.
Man,
My pleasure.
Anytime y'all want to come back, just let Kim and them or Nah know that y'all want to come back. I'm open to anything to come back and sit and talk to y'all. This was cool. This was probably this was the best show that I actually did this year.
How old are you?
I'm 38.
Oh yeah. So yeah, he right there. He ready.
Yeah, he ready.
Yeah, we're 40 plus. Everybody, we all 40 plus. Let's go. We all gonna work out.
Yeah, we 40 plus too. Right.
Yeah, I'm 50 plus.
Yeah, you 50, girl. We talking about 50 plus.
You know black don't crack.
You ain't had to put my business out there.
You said 50 plus. You just hit 50.
Yeah, but you ain't have to put a
time out. Go to commercial. The show is ended.
Yeah.
All right, good people. We appreciate y'all.
Thank you.
Thank y'all for
thank
coming.
you so much for having us. Thank you, Kim.
You're
Bye, y'all.
welcome. Thank y'all for tuning in for Amsterdam Talk. This is the year out closeout show right here. I guess I'll see y'all next week in 2021. Maybe 2021 next year, depending on what goes on, for New Year's, if I'm back to my normal state by the end of New Year's night. But I will definitely,
Come on, be safe, man. Be safe.
I ain't got nowhere to go. Each and every Tuesday, 9 p.m. East Coast time, Amsterdam Talk. I myself, Rod, for the Mavericks, for the Franklins, but thank you for joining us, for the whole HBCU Singles Lounge, HBCU Couples Lounge. Thank y'all for joining. We'll see you in TNT Fitness, and they'll be hitting you up for your invites, for your clubhouse, for your voiceovers. Thank you.